Hi, welcome to Stanley Paw's channel. Today I'm just going to be talking about just bad friendships in general. So friendships are obviously a very important part of your life. As I've gotten older, I've realized just the red flags that I should notice when I get into a friendship. So some of these red flags are if you don't feel like you're being treated fairly. Okay, so personally, anytime that there's some sort of weird hierarchy in the friendship, I'm out. So to give an example, I was in 5th grade, and I know this is kind of messed up, but there was this clique, and I was part of the clique because I fit into the character of this girl from The Pretty Committee. So if you don't know, it's this book about this girl who starts, I think it's high school. But we're 5th graders at this point. So we were trying to mimic that, and they were just basically mean girls, and they would rank your outfit. They would talk crap about you, just things like that. One day they're your friend and one day they're not. So that friendship clearly didn't last too long, and I moved on to a new group of friends who were so supportive. And I was super happy because I think they really pushed me into just becoming better academically, and also I think your life feels a little bit more whole when you have a solid group of friends. And another example I have of this is when I was in high school, and so I speak Khoisanwa. Lots of the people from high school, they mostly speak Cantonese. Sometimes I'll speak Khoisanwa and then they'll say things like, "Oh, that's such a country bumpkin thing to say." And I'm but I just remember these little microaggressions. And now looking back at it, I was like, oh, okay, maybe I wasn't as welcomed into this friendship as I thought I was. It clearly just wasn't going to be a good fit for me because it didn't seem like they treated me fairly at some points. And in high school, I think I had a habit of just being friends with really insecure people. So another red flag is if they get jealous easily of you and they're pretending to be your friend. I think this is more of a girl thing though. So I remember this girl, she I thought she was my friend, and then when all these people commented on my Facebook timeline saying oh, congratulations on getting into your college, oh my god, you're going to go places, things like that, she just stopped talking to me for a month because she was upset that she didn't get into the college she thought I got into. And I actually didn't get into the college. They were just saying, oh my god, congratulations on just getting into a college. Not that my grades are bad or anything, but it's just the fact that she assumed that I got into her dream college and she didn't. Yeah, it wasn't a great feeling for everyone. And now looking back, I should have been oh, this is a red flag for someone who doesn't really have my best interests at heart, because she's just looking out for herself. And then on top of that, I've also had terrible experiences with people who wanted to be friends with me just for their own benefit. So for example, I remember there was this one guy who was trying to be my friend for a really long time in college. It was just really weird, and it turns out he just really wanted to be my friend because of my surrounding friend group, because I was friends with a lot of upperclassmen. I knew this one guy because he saw my necklace one time and he's like, yo, how was Kenya? Because he also went to Kenya, and we were able to bond over that. But this guy, he was just trying to use me as a stepping stone to get to all these other people to better himself. I don't know. And it was just really awkward. I remember a mutual friend just stopped me and said, oh, did you know that he actually wants to date this person, and that's why they were trying to get close to you so that they know more about this person? I was like, yeah, that's a little shady. So that was the end of that friendship. And I've also had friends who wanted to be my friend for financial reasons. So back in high school, this girl, she would always recommend all these places that we should go eat, we should go try the drinks at. And I would just say, maybe on the weekends if we have time or something. And then when we get there, she'll say oh, you should pay because you make more money than I do. This pattern kept going on and on and on. So I'm glad that that friendship ended, because I'm first of all, I barely was making more than this girl. I was making $10 an hour and she was making $9. So it wasn't like a huge difference. And then I had this college friend. She heard how successful I was at investing, and so she would try to insert herself into all like my friend group. Oh, like it was sort of cringe the way she did it. So I mentioned to this one girl that like, hey, maybe we should have like a freshman year get together again, like our old days. We just haven't had time to catch up. And then she just like invited herself, and it was sort of awkward. She started only coming to the event so that way she could ask me like what I was investing in. But then she doesn't really provide much for me. Like there are some friends who are like fun to hang out with, but she just isn't one of them. And it just like sucks the fun out of your life when you have a person who's just talking smack about someone else the whole time, and it's supposed to end up being like some gossip session. Like, you know, it's fine, but if that's your whole friendship, it isn't for me. I've just decided to distance myself from her. I'll say I'm doing like decently well in life. So recently I've had like a blast from the past contact me just because they heard I was doing well, and they were trying to like by association do well. But I could see that people are like hate following, or they're like they just want to keep tabs on me so that way they can get in on whatever like success that I'm experiencing. So I remember another time, this was over the summer, and this was going to be my second year at this internship, and I was super excited. Every summer I have multiple offers. My friends and I initially were going to do like the same summer job, but because I got this offer, I had to take it because they had limited spots and they paid more. I think what happened was my friend at the time, she complained to her mom about how I was doing this internship that paid more, and the mom cornered me. It was like,
why doesn't my child have the same opportunity? Like, why did you get this and why didn't she apply? Like, why didn't you tell her about it?
and I was like, I did. Like, I remember this was like a weekend, and you had to go out to this place to apply for this internship and like listen to the whole seminar and then give your feedback on it. And you had to write like a 10-page paper on how you would improve the next year's seminar. And so I was like, no, like we were all invited to it. They just decided not to come. So then like it's just like moments like those when you realize that your friends really aren't your friends. And I've also had like a really creepy experience where this guy was trying to be my friend. I have no idea like what his intentions were. It was just like full on harassment. So he would like quadruple text me, and he would just like constantly bombard my phone with texts until I answered. So he would just keep changing the topic, and it was just so disgusting. And then it got worse. Like he would gaslight me. So he would call me multiple times a day. Like that's not normal. I feel like as adults you don't really reach out to your friends that often. I don't know, maybe it's just me. But this guy, like the second day I met him, he called me 6 times a day. And like 2 of them were like FaceTimes. Like I don't even FaceTime the whale. So that ended up being like a whole HR thing, because this was a person who wanted to be my friend outside of work, which is not a problem until they just like cross all sorts of boundaries and stuff. Like I felt like I was reporting to my parents because the way they were texting me was like, where are you? What are you doing now? Just like his tone was really demanding, and it was just so strange that like, yeah, like human resources was like, what the hell? I also try not to be friends with people who are too pessimistic. It sort of leaks into your own feelings sometimes, and then you end up thinking negatively, and you feed into this like negative loop that you put yourself in. Like she's more of an acquaintance now, but there's this like one friend who's always like, I can't lose weight, I can't do this, but then you just like see her in the K-dramas. No offense to like the hardcore K-drama people, but I feel like it really does alter your expectations in life, because I think she just expected for life to just like fall her way when she graduated, but that wasn't the case at all. I hope this doesn't deter you from making any new friends, but yeah, just be careful out there. Like look out for yourself. Don't worry about me. These days my friend group is very solid. All right, I hope you enjoy listening to all my terrible friendship stories that have gone sour. These are like some of the red flags that I've seen. Like let me know if you know of any more. But sometimes some people weren't meant to be your friends. Some people were just supposed to teach you a lesson. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye! it would say things like, oh, that's so country folk of you. And I'm like, what do you mean? You know, like, if you understand me, you understand me. Like, don't even try and pretend like it's weird or something.